Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I'm going to continue my fall series by starting to decorate. Now, I'm a little bit behind on decorating. Normally I would start in September, but I do feel like summer is just extending longer and longer these days, and the weather is staying warmer and warmer, and it's not really feeling like fall, so I didn't want to start too soon. I'm just starting to decorate this week, and I want to share a few of the things that I started with you on my channel. Every year I like to do some type of DIY fall decor on my channel, and this one's pretty easy to do, and it's also a fun one to include kids on. Oliver was at school when I did this, so he wasn't there to help me out with this project, but normally I would have him help me trace and cut and, help me out with the project. So I have a few more projects I'm going to save and do with him, but my mom always used to go crazy during the fall months and just get us all involved in decorating, and she's a teacher, so it was always just a really fun time during this time of the year. I just started by tracing the leaf and then cut out the leaf, and then I saved the canned pumpkin, or the can from the canned pumpkin, in my fall recipes video. I washed that out, and then I'm going to go ahead and paint this. Again, painting the can is another good way to get kids involved, and it's really fun, so if you want to make this like a family project. I'm mixing 3 different colors, orange, red, and a little bit of black to make it a really nice maroon color. You can of course paint it any color you prefer. Also, there's a lot of different ways to have fun decorating with these. You could even use a larger can or a bucket or pail of some type and do this. You could put several of these along a walkway and put like a fake candle inside so that when people walk up to your door during the fall months, it's really, it's like a really cool look. I'm just making one of these. I'm gonna go ahead and just put this in our guest bathroom. But again, you could go crazy and make several of them. Once the paint is completely dry, it's time to start drilling the holes around the edges of the leaf. So what I'm doing here now is I have my drill, and I have a really small drill bit, and I'm going to put tiny little holes all around the edges of the traced leaf. Now, the reason I didn't use an actual leaf or a fake leaf directly on the can is because it's a little trickier to put holes into that. So I traced out a leaf on paper. I made sure to tape that onto the can, and then this is the hardest part of the project, which is just going around the edges to create little tiny holes all around the edges. At this point, I needed to do a few paint touch-ups just to make sure it was nice and clean, and then I put a tea light in there, and then the light shines through. I just went ahead and put this in my guest bathroom with a few other little decor pieces, and then my favorite hand soap that I found from Trader Joe's. It's their apple cider hand soap. But how pretty would one of these be, or several of these be, outside along a pathway, or if you did a larger version of these? I would personally put a fake tea light in there because you get the same effect and you don't have to worry about it. It's a really pretty just like candle holder or tea light holder, and so that was the first one that I made. Relatively easy and a fun one to include the kids on as well. And then the other thing that I wanted to make was scented pine cones. I gave my son and his cousins the job of going and finding me some pine cones from around the yard. I just washed them, and then I put them in the oven at 250 degrees just to dry them. The great thing about these is it's not just for fall, it's great for winter time and Christmas time. And then once I pulled those out of the oven, I'm just going to put some cinnamon essential oil drops on each of the pine cones. So I'd say 3 to 5 drops on each of them. Just keep in mind when you are using cinnamon essential oil to wash your hands after, because if you touch your eyes with cinnamon essential oil, it's going to burn. I'm sure most people already know that, but that's something to keep in mind, especially around pets and children. It's a very strong essential oil. So after a few drops on each of the pine cones, I'm just going to put that in a large glass container. And this is really nice to put in a bathroom as well, because it just releases a really beautiful scent into the air. And instead of having to buy these, they're really easy to make. So I went ahead and made some scented pine cones. I went ahead and put that on my fireplace with a fairy tale pumpkin. Once I start using the fireplace, I'll probably move it into one of the bathrooms. And then I started to decorate the mantle. So normally I'll do the front door or I'll decorate other areas of the house, but this year I started with the mantle, and I got this wreath on sale at Hobby Lobby, but I felt like it was definitely in the fall section, but I felt like it could go as a Christmas wreath. It's pretty neutral, so I wanted to add to it. So I just took some elements from the yard. I feel like I use eucalyptus for everything, but it's because I have it in my yard, so it's just really easy to go to. I decided to put that all around the wreath just to add some color. I also added some of these white pumpkins that I got at Hobby Lobby and inserted that into the wreath as well. So what I like about this wreath is that I could have added colorful leaves onto it. You can really customize it in any way that you wanted, but I wanted to make it a temporary customization so that I could also do that for winter, so I didn't want to glue anything. If you needed, you could use a little twine to tie everything in there, but just by inserting, everything stayed. And then the eucalyptus was kind of like falling out, so I wanted to make sure I went in and kind of tucked it. And this won't last very long, obviously, because the eucalyptus will dry out, so it is temporary. But I also added some eucalyptus and pine cones to the mantle itself. Now, after this dries out, I will take it away and the mantle will be a little bit more bare, and some people prefer that anyway, just because depending on the proximity of your mantle to your fireplace, it could be a fire hazard to have foliage. Once we are starting to use the fireplace more consistently, I really do keep that in mind, but it is a beautiful look. You see it a lot in magazines and on Pinterest, and this year I just wanted to experiment with a more muted mantle decor. And so I went with white pumpkins and our rustic pumpkins that we have and we use year after year, and we decorate with them a little bit differently. Also, those faux birch candles and the candle holders, I use those season after season to decorate because they're neutral and they work with everything. So I added a few other elements, the pumpkins that we plan to carve, and that kind of finishes off the fireplace. And now I have to move to the other areas of the house. Also, if I start decorating early enough, sometimes I will switch it out. So I actually have a secondary wreath I can either use on the door or here. I got that from Kohl's along with the letterboard. They were having a sale there. And then I'll either decide to have foliage or no foliage at all and keep it a little bit more simple. So I like to experiment, and then if I'm not liking something, I'll switch it out, or if the foliage dies, I'll adjust it. And so I think I'm actually going to stick with this one for the mantle for the rest of the season. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I do have a variety of fall videos coming soon, from more recipes to some of the routines that we like to do as a family to some beauty spa goodness. So I'm going to hit all of that on my channel this fall season, so keep your eyes peeled. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.